Have you ever stopped to think that the year you were born wasn't random? That even the last digit of that number carries a deep mark of your essence, your choices from past lives, and the lessons you're meant to learn in this incarnation? According to ancient Buddhist teachings, the last digit of your birth year represents a specific type of karmic energy. A direct reflection of your spiritual past, and understanding this number can change the way you see yourself and your life's path. We're not talking about cheap horoscopes or generic numerology here. This is about ancient wisdom, passed down by monks who saw life as a continuous cycle of learning, death, and rebirth. For them, being born in a specific year with a specific number was a direct result of actions from past lives, and this was reflected in your personality, occurring challenges, and even the emotional pain you might carry. You may not remember your past, but it left clues, and one of those clues is in the last digit of your birth year. In this video, you'll discover how each number from 0 to 9 represents a different karmic footprint. Some people were born to heal, others to lead. Some are paying off old debts, while others are starting the cycle anew with more lightness. By identifying the number that's been with you since birth, you'll connect with something greater, something you've perhaps always felt but never knew how to explain. This number reveals hidden traits of your soul and what your past life still wants to teach you. But before we dive in, go ahead and give this video a like. It helps this content reach more people who are also seeking self-discovery. Subscribe to the channel because every week I bring deep teachings and spiritual topics that might resonate with you. And drop a comment below to let me know where you're watching from. I love seeing how far this energy is reaching. Now, take a deep breath. Connect. Because what you're about to discover might change how you see who you really are. Before I show you the spiritual meaning of the last digit of your birth year, there's something crucial you need to understand. In Buddhism, especially in the older traditions tied to Tibet, India, and Thailand, life doesn't begin at birth or end at death. It's a flow, a continuous journey where the spirit goes through cycles of learning, and each rebirth carries the mark of what came before. Nothing is random, not the family you were born into, not your body, not your birth year. The wisest monks always observed patterns. They knew certain people carried very specific energies. Some were born with an ease for silence, others with restless minds, some with natural talents, others with recurring pain, traumas, or fears that couldn't be explained in this life. And in many cases, a small detail, like the last digit of your birth year, served as a starting point to understand the path that soul had already walked and what it was trying to heal now. That's why this video isn't just entertainment, it's a tool for reconnection. By understanding your number, you're not just hearing a fun fact. You're looking back at lives that are gone, at old karmas that might still be active, and at spiritual gifts that may be dormant within you. This number is a symbol, a code, a clue about your soul's journey. So from now on, pay attention. Listen with an open heart, because when we start talking about the numbers, something inside you might awaken, as if an ancient part of your soul is recognizing something it already knew but had forgotten. Let's start with the first number. If the last digit of your birth year is 0, know that this isn't just any detail. In the spiritual path, especially within the oldest Buddhist schools, the number 0 represents both the beginning and the end at the same time. It symbolizes the fertile void, the space where everything is born and everything returns. For Tibetan monks, the 0 is the mark of a soul returning to the start of the cycle. It's the sign of those who are restarting a new spiritual journey after one or more intense lives marked by excess, suffering, ruptures, and often abandoning their own purpose. Being born under the symbol of 0 means you're a soul in the process of an energetic reset. This suggests that in past lives you may have carried deep guilt, lived through emotional extremes, or disconnected from your spiritual core. This new incarnation comes as a quiet invitation from life. Clear, restart, rebuild. It doesn't matter what you lived through before. What matters is that now you're at ground 0, the point where there's no longer the weight of the past, only space to create something new. People with a 0 often have lives that seem slow to take off. They go through long phases of introspection, doubt, and inner rebuilding. Ones who frequently face forced pauses, an illness, a loss, a sudden change of course. This isn't bad luck. It's the universe clearing out old noise so you can learn to build consciously, step by step. These souls are deeply sensitive, quiet inside, but carry a wisdom no one can teach because it comes from the depths of time. Buddhist monks believe that those who are reborn with this energy are here to restore balance and reclaim their personal truth. These are people born to simplify, heal family patterns, and break old karmic cycles. The 0 doesn't carry the energy of repetition. It carries the rare chance to rewrite everything from scratch. That's why these people feel, at some point in their lives, a strong call to abandon patterns, break with old stories, and create something that doesn't yet exist. Whether it's a new way of living, a new project, or a new version of themselves, behind this energy lies a soul that's seen too much. In past lives, it experienced everything it needed to, and now it seeks depth. It's common for these people to have little tolerance for superficiality, emotional games, or chaotic environments. They feel a need for peace, order, and silence. And even without understanding why, they often isolate themselves or feel different from others. This isn't weakness. It's a sign that the soul is in transition, moving away from the automatic wheel of karma and consciously choosing a new path. The challenge for those with the number 0 is not to get lost in the void. Since this energy represents the absolute beginning, many feel like they're starting from nothing, with no foundation, clarity, or direction. Normal to feel lost at times. But it's precisely in this void that the power lies, because the 0 is the fertile field where any reality can be created. The soul that accepts this restart as a blessing, not a punishment, accesses a spiritual freedom few people know. If you have the number 0, your life won't be a repetition of the past. It will be a conscious creation of the future. But this only happens when you stop trying to fit into others' molds and start listening to your inner voice. You didn't come to repeat, you came to redefine, to silence old noise, to reorganize family energy, to show a new path. And the most beautiful part is that even without realizing it, you're already doing this with every choice that doesn't repeat, with every cycle you choose not to continue. Remember, the 0 is where everything begins. It's where Buddha sat in silence and awakened. It's where the sound of the universe hasn't yet been made, and because of that, it's pure potential. If this is your number, your soul is giving you a new chance. Use it consciously. Live with truth. And remember, you're not empty. You're the space where everything can bloom. If the last digit of your birth year is 1, you're not here by accident. According to ancient Buddhist spiritual traditions, this number represents a soul returning with a clear sense of purpose. This means that in one or more past lives, you went through intense learning journeys and now carry an energy that drives, directs, and builds. The mark of the One indicates you came back to Earth with an active mission, not just to live, but to lead paths, start ideas, and inspire transformations. Your presence is a call, and wherever you are, something new needs to happen. In esoteric Buddhism, the One represents the first manifestation after the void, the point where consciousness leaves the state of silence and chooses to express itself in the material world. This energy isn't gentle, it's direct, powerful, and demanding. People with this spiritual frequency often feel from a young age that there's something more to do, even when they don't know exactly what. They're restless, driven by an inner fire that doesn't go out, even if they try to fit in. They realize they were born to walk ahead, not behind. This leadership isn't about titles, authority, or positions. It's a spirit. Some souls come into this world to start what no one else dared to begin. If the number 1 is your vibration, you are a pioneer. You didn't come to repeat paths, you came to open them. That can mean creating a different family pattern, a new way of working, or beginning an inner healing process others were afraid to face. And because you go first, resistance follows you. Criticism, rejection, isolation, and self-doubt are part of your journey. Not because you're wrong, but because the world resists what is new. Your life may be marked by sudden endings and restarts, moments where everything seems to collapse at once. But these ruptures are not punishment, they are redirections. The universe removes you from places where your soul can no longer grow. Your strength is not in staying where there is no life, but in having the courage to begin again. The lesson of the One is leadership without ego. True power doesn't come from control or proving yourself. It comes from example, humility, and the courage to move forward even when no one follows. You were chosen to take the first step, and by doing so, you light the way for others, even if you don't see it yet. If the last digit of your birth year is 2, your soul carries sensitivity as wisdom. You feel what others ignore. You sense emotions before words are spoken. Your intuition is sharp, and your heart absorbs the atmosphere around you. You came to reconnect what was broken, to soften, balance, and bring understanding. But your first mission is internal. You learned early to hide your feelings, to stay quiet, to keep the peace, to give more than you receive. And over time, this made you the one everyone leans on, while you feel unseen. Your sensitivity is not weakness, it's your gift. Souls with the vibration of 2 are emotional bridges. They hear what isn't said. They stay open when the world shuts down. But the lesson of the 2 is learning to love without disappearing, to care without self-abandonment, to offer empathy without sacrificing dignity. You are not here to be in the background or to carry emotional burdens alone. Peace that costs your truth is not peace. And when you finally honor your own feelings, you restore not only yourself, but everything you were born to heal. Those born with the number 2 need to learn that empathy without boundaries becomes self-abandonment. Your mission isn't to erase yourself, it's to be a bridge, and bridges don't break to please those who cross them. You also have a powerful gift, the ability to harmonize. You transform environments with your presence. You ease tensions, bring relief, offer listening and compassion, sometimes without even speaking. Your mere presence heals, and even if others don't say it, they feel it. You have the gift of water. You adapt, flow, navigate around obstacles. But you can also drown if you don't respect your own limits. When you learn to use this gift consciously, you become one of the most healing beings there is. But the number 2 also comes with a warning. Don't lose yourself trying to please others. Your soul needs silence, beauty, and self-care. You need to nurture yourself as much as you nurture others. The key here is balance. When you start saying no without guilt, when you learn not to carry burdens that aren't yours, something inside you aligns, and that's when your true power blossoms, because a balance too doesn't live for others. It lives in connection with everyone without losing itself. If this is your number, know that you're not alone in this mission. Thousands of souls are awakening now to this same call to heal relationships, restore self-love, and bring back listening and tenderness to the world. You're one of those souls, and even if the path feels lonely at times, every act of compassion you offer, including to yourself, is exactly what you came here to do. With gentleness, depth, and real love. If the last digit of your birth year is 3, know that you carry a light that doesn't go out. But you may not always have felt this. Many people with this vibration have spent parts of their lives feeling like they're too much. They talk too much, feel too much, dream too much, have too many ideas, and they end up trying to hold themselves back. But according to Buddhist masters, and number 3 is the soul that returns to express what was silenced, to turn emotion into art and pain into creation. Shine, even if sometimes you have to fight your own shadow to do so. The 3 represents the energy of emotional expansion. People with this number have a natural ease for touching others with their words, their gaze, their humor, their presence. They have a light, often childlike glow, that attracts and warms. But behind this glow is a soul that's known darkness, and that's exactly what makes the number 3 so special. It's someone who smiles, even knowing pain, not because they ignore suffering, but because they've understood it doesn't have to be the end of the story. Buddhist monks say that souls with this vibration lived past lives marked by emotional repression, places where they couldn't be themselves, where their voices were silenced, where their ideas were undervalued. In this life, the call is clear. Be, feel, speak, share. You no longer need to hide your emotions or try to fit into molds made to diminish you. Your soul returned to create, and it doesn't matter how, through you. Art, humor, words, gestures, or your unique way of touching life. You've probably felt misunderstood, called exaggerated, intense, or overly sensitive, and maybe because of that, you've learned to swallow words, hide feelings, or stifle dreams. But the number 3 suffers in silence. Your healing lies in expression. When you write, sing, dance, share, or simply speak with an open heart, something realigns inside you. You start to remember who you are. You start to come home. It's common for these souls to have faced rejection in the past, whether in childhood, relationships, or work. This happens because the glow of the 3 unsettles those who haven't found their own light. But that's no reason to hide, quite the opposite. You came to the world to show it's possible to live with truth, lightness, and depth all at once. Your way is your power. Your authenticity is your mission. When you stay silent, the world loses a piece of the healing you came to offer. Another important point. The 3 is the energy of connection with the inner child, not in an immature sense, but in the purest, most spontaneous and creative sense of being. You have an ease for seeing beauty where no one else does. You can laugh at yourself. You can turn ordinary moments into eternal memories. That's sacred. But sometimes life will try to harden you with criticism, trauma, or loss. And that's where your challenge lies, to keep your heart open even when everything around you asks you to close it. You have a channel of healing within you that works through expression. Some souls were born to express, to translate emotions into words, art, and inspiration. If the number 3 is your vibration, your voice is your gift. Whether you speak, create, or inspire, you touch people without even realizing it. Your vulnerability becomes a bridge. Your old pain becomes healing. You didn't come to silence yourself or dim your light to fit into someone else's darkness. You came to expand, to turn emotion into truth and truth into connection. The world needs your way of feeling and expressing exactly as it is. If the last digit of your birth year is 4, you are the one people lean on when everything falls apart. You carry the energy of structure, protection, and rebuilding. Ancient teachings say the 4 is the invisible pillar, the foundation that holds everything together. From a young age, you probably felt the need to be strong, responsible, always available, and over time, you may have learned how to survive, but forgotten how to rest. Your lesson is not to control everything, but to trust. Strength doesn't mean rigidity. You deserve care, lightness, and pause too. When you allow yourself this, your strength becomes balanced, not exhausting. If your number is 5, freedom lives in your bones. You were never made to be trapped in routines, roles, or expectations. Your soul carries the energy of movement, curiosity, and transformation. You question paths, break patterns, and seek experiences that expand you. But when unbalanced, this freedom turns into restlessness, constant change, and inner emptiness. The lesson of the 5 is simple but deep. True freedom is presence, not running but choosing. When you find purpose and direction, your chaos turns into creativity, and your movement becomes a force that awakens others. If the last digit of your birth year is 6, love is your essence. You have a deep need to care, protect, and nurture. Often, you've carried responsibilities too early, pains that weren't yours, and relationships where you gave more than you received. This soul came to restore love in the world, but the challenge is learning not to disappear in the process. Real love is not sacrifice or guilt, it's balance. It begins when you include yourself in what you offer. You're not here to save everyone. You're here to love with awareness, boundaries, and truth. These numbers aren't labels or predictions. They're mirrors, reflections of ancient patterns your soul already knows. And if something here felt familiar, it's because your soul recognized itself. This isn't about believing, it's about remembering. Remembering who you are beneath expectations, roles, and fears. You didn't come here to shrink, to endure, or to disappear. You came to live with presence, truth, and purpose. And when you do, your very existence becomes a form of healing. Some people carry energies that are deeper than this lifetime. And one simple detail can reveal a lot about that. The last digit of your birth year. If your number is 6, your soul carries the karma of care. You're someone who gives a lot, loves deeply, and naturally wants to protect and heal others. But your lesson is balance. You're not here to save everyone or sacrifice yourself. Real love is not guilt, dependence, or exhaustion. It's awareness. When you learn to care for yourself the same way you care for others, love stops being a burden and becomes healing. If your number is 7, you're an old soul. You've probably felt different since childhood, more introspective, more observant, less interested in superficial things. You question everything, you feel things deeply, and that can make you feel lonely at times. But you're not broken, you're awakening. Your soul came to seek truth beyond appearances. You didn't come to fit in. You came to see, to understand, and to bring wisdom to a world that often avoids depth. If your number is 8, your energy is intense. You carry leadership, ambition, and strong karma. Things happen fast in your life, victories and losses, rises and falls. You're here to learn how to handle power with awareness. True strength isn't control, it's balance. When you align success with purpose and ambition with compassion, your life transforms. Power without consciousness is a prison, but power with awareness becomes liberation. If your number is 9, you're a deeply sensitive and compassionate soul. You feel the world's pain, often without knowing why. You've lived many lives and returned to close cycles to heal and to guide, but your challenge is not to lose yourself while helping others. Compassion is not self-abandonment. You're here to inspire, not to carry everything alone. Your presence changes environments, even in silence. These numbers aren't here to label you or predict your future. They are mirrors, reminders of who you've always been. And if something in this message felt familiar, it's because your soul remembers. This isn't the end of a journey. It's the beginning of awareness, a call to live with truth, balance, and authenticity. You didn't come here by accident, and you didn't come to sleep. You came to awaken.